ID. Great, the input ID. So this is what I want to call it. For this one, I'm going to call it years because it's going to select the years. Then the label. The label is what your user is going to see. So I can just say years. I can say select years, whatever floats your boat. Then in the case of a slider input, I have to have at least 3 more arguments. I have to give it a minimum value, a maximum value, and then value is going to be the default value that it's already set to. So I'm going to label my arguments. This only goes back to, let's do 2009 for now, because we know that 2008 data is missing. It only goes to 2018. For value, we're going to use a range of years just to default set it to. So I'm going to just set it to 2010, 2012. I love after I change anything in a Shiny app to then run it again. Even if it's not going to do anything, I just want to make sure I didn't break anything. I am going to get an error here, of course, because now I took away the bin, so this isn't going to work. But I can see that my slider input is working. I have between 2009 and 2018, and I can select a range of years. So I didn't break that. Cool. So that was the UI. That was just us building that input. Let's flip over to the server and actually use it. I'm going to clear out the stuff they did. We're also making a plot. I'm going to call it GDP Plot. So that's my output object. And I'm still going to use the render plot function because, like I said, I'm making a plot. Oh, key thing that absolutely would have failed here. We should import the data. It's going to help. To make my life simpler, I don't know why that came out in all caps. I'm just calling the data Tunisia. And I did do something. I need to put it in my live app folder. So let me have caps lock on. Let me write it out there. So now it's in that folder and I can read it in. I'm going to use read CSV. Spell things correctly. And that'll read my data into my app, and then it'll be available, because I did it outside of my output objects, it'll be available in my entire server. We want that. Cool. So now that I actually have the data, I'm going to build this graph that I had shown you. So year, what is that called? Growth rate. Okay. Because I made year a factor variable, which I did for display reasons, you have to add group equals 1 inside of the AES call so that this line graph will actually work. Trust me. Learn from my mistakes. So now if I run the app, and you'll see the app won't run unless all your files are saved. I still don't see the graph yet. I don't have the error anymore because I got rid of the old histogram. And the reason I don't see the graph yet is I haven't told the UI to display it. So we should go do that. So let's flip back to the UI. We want to show the plot in the main panel, not in the sidebar. And right now it says plot output disk plot. We'll remember that we just changed the name to GDP plot. If I save that and I run this, I now have my GDP plot, but you can see nothing's happening with the sliders. I haven't connected those yet, but at least I know all of this is working. I'm gonna go steal my own label so I don't have to rewrite it.
Is it possible to ask a question? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
oh yeah, go ahead.
the data that you changed, you told us that it is in data_Tunisia, right? From the GitHub repository?
Yeah, so that was the original data set, and then I cleaned it and just wrote it out as tunisia.csv, and then it's in all of the folders.
I'm just looking for it right now because I couldn't find the CSV one.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if I put it in the main repo, and I maybe should have. I'll push a copy to the main repo right now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. But I also did put it in, there should be a copy in every single folder, just so the app that I wrote in every folder does work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I did add those labels, so now my plot will have a title, growth rate, and I always think years are self-explanatory, so I don't really bother with a label down there. So what we'll need to do is we need to hook up those inputs. Luckily, we just do it inside of a filter, the way we would build a regular GG plot. And what we would normally do here is we would do year in, and then it would be some set of years in a vector. We need to hook it specifically to our inputs. And the way we access inputs in our server is we just do input, $, and our studio, shiny, it's so smart. It already comes up, years, because that's what we,
Kaelen,
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. If you can go slower, because someone telling us that you are very fast for him.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm not looking at the chat, so thank you for telling me. So from here, I'll go slower. Remember, all this code is written in the Tunisia app static folder, in case you want it. You need to catch up, but I will go slower. So I'll flip back to the UI, and remember that I called my slider input, my ID was called years. So that's how I access it. One of the trick here with using the range is that I actually have two values. I have the bottom end of the range and the top end of the range. So the default app had just used the 1 bins. So I'll need to do years. It's just like a list index 1. And 2. That's the top and the bottom of that range.